I don't wanna talk unless we talking about. Yeah. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep. Yeah, it's hard to keep. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about rags. Don't be sending shots if you don't wanna lie back. Say you got hits, we don't see where they at.
If you've been anywhere on the internet the last week or so, then you've probably seen this photo. If you haven't seen this photo, you've probably heard this song.
I came in with my ex like Celine at a flex.
Hey, no? What about this one? When it's cold, I got
from you. I got enemies on the when it's cold. I'm from the.
These are two of the hottest Drake songs out right now. If you've heard Drake at all, then you know it's his voice. Except it's not. Well, it kind of is. I know it's kind of confusing, but I'm here to help you understand. I promise. By the end of this video, you will understand. Two things are certain. One, Drake didn't make these songs. And two, neither did AI. Human beings made these songs with the help of AI. And I'm going to show you how. I've seen tons of comments everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, on how AI is making better songs than the actual artist. AI is making better this, blah, 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 blah. That's a misconception because AI didn't make any of these songs that's out right now. Now, before I get into the process of making AI music, let me tell you how the technology behind the vocal cloning software works, which is the AI part. So there's a software called Sovit's SVC. And it's extremely complex and likely algorithmic based on extremely technical code. And you got to be like working at MIT or Harvard to make this stuff, I would assume. This is some year 3000 type shit we're dealing with. And I'm not that big of a nerd to understand it at that level, okay? So just hang on. But I do understand the premise of how this is used for people to use this AI modeling software to train it to sound like a certain artist or celebrity. So by using Sovit's SVC, what you do is you basically take a cappella of like Drake, for instance. You take hours of his acapella from all songs and rap verses and singing and whispering and whatever he's done. You take that acapella separate from the beat and you run it through this vocal training software, and the AI studies every single detail down to the byte of information in that vocal acapella, and it studies it, and you train it over and over and over, and you just feed it hours and hours of acapella, and it studies everything. So the more you feed this demon all of Drake's info, the better it will sound and the closer it will get to his voice. And it'll train it up to a certain amount of steps is what it's called. So there's models of different artists and celebrities of like Drake 200,000 steps or Drake 600,000 steps. That means one person did this Drake model and they fed it X amount and it equals to 200,000 steps. And then this person did Drake for so many hours and it's 600,000 steps. So that model is going to sound way more closer to Drake. It has way more information that it was fed to replicate Drake's voice. Is this all making sense? I know it's confusing. My head hurts. I've been studying this for the last couple of days. I don't know what day it is, okay? But we're going to get into it. So now that you understand that, how are kids making these AI songs? Here's how that works. So step one is you find a type beat. You search on YouTube, you search on BeatStars, anywhere that producers offer their beats that they've made, and you find a type beat that sounds like that artist. So if you want to make a Nicki Minaj song, you find a Nicki Minaj type beat. You want to make a Drake song, you find a Drake type beat, etc., etc. You get the picture. Or if you just got it like that, you make your own beat. All right, shout out to the producers out there. Step two is once you have found your instrumental or your beat that you want to rap on, you need to write and sing like that artist. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky because you need a little bit of skill to make it more believable. The more you can write like that artist, the more you can copy that artist's flow and how they would write or how they would sing, the better it's going to sound at the end. So if you're doing a Nicki Minaj song, you better be able to sing and rap. If you're doing a Rihanna song, you better be able to hit some notes because the AI is not going to do the work for you. It's just going to clone what you feed it. So let's use Drake as an example because he's the one that's popping off everywhere, and that's the one that I used at the end of this video. So you get a Drake type beat, and then you write like Drake, and you make a song that you think Drake would make, and that's step two. Now that you have written a song, this is where you need a digital audio workstation. Yes, I know this is getting more and more complex and more and tricky. Not any goofy goober can get off of the street and make this stuff, okay? You have to have some sort of skill. And the more skill you have, the harder it is to tell what's real and what's fake, what's AI and what's Drake. I got bars, let's do it all day. Okay, you get the point. So you're gonna need a digital audio workstation. Logic Pro, Pro Tools, Reaper, Ableton, FL Studio, any of these will work. Once you record your vocals and you like how everything is sounding, then you need to export them, preferably in like 4-bar WAV files, because the AI can't handle a lot. They say that it's around like up to 45 seconds of audio is kind of your best. I found really good results by doing 4 bars at a time. So maybe like 10 to 15 seconds worth of audio. And you export these as WAV files raw, and you don't want any effects on them, no delay, no reverb, any of that. That can mess with the AI model. Then you take them into the Sovich training model, and then it will clone it from there, and then you bring it back into your workstation. Step 4. This is the cloning process. So there are a lot of Discords out there that explain information on how this works, have all types of education and tips and tricks on how to get your model to sound better, how to mix, all this stuff. There's Discords out there. Two of my favorite are AI World and AI Hub. I messaged both of the owners on these Discords, and I asked if it was okay if I made a video explaining stuff and dropping the names in there and giving a shout out to them. So thank you guys for allowing me to do this. Each Discord kind of has their own way of doing things, and they have model lists, and they have how to train models, how to create your own models, how to use models that are already trained, etc., etc. There's one Discord that has an AI bot. So all you do is literally take that WAV file and you put it in the Discord, message the bot, and then it spits back out a model that they have, whether it's Taylor Swift, Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, Kanye West, Drake, whatever model they have, it'll spit it back out to you. Now, I noticed when you use the Discord, the audio doesn't come back the best. So we're not going to use that method. We're going to use the Sovich SVC because that is a lot cleaner and a lot better quality. I think it's trained a lot better, and it'll have better results. So we're going to go over to Google Colab, Sovich SVC. This is where I used my audio. I think it came back a lot better this way, more high quality, more accurate to Drake. I'm going to go ahead and take you step by step through this real quick. You run these cells in order. It's got directions. It's self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. I'm going to show the code. It might be a little bit much for you to handle in, but I think it looks cool, even though you don't need to see the code, and it hurts my brain, and I don't understand any of it at all. So I'm in the same boat as you. After all this is cloned and you get your file back, this is where you take it back into your audio workstation, and the next step begins. Step 5. This is where you mix the vocals into the beat. And again, I know it gets tricky. I know it gets complicated. If you don't have skills, I'm sorry, you're just not going to be able to do it at this level, okay? Like I said, this isn't just for any person to do this stuff. If you're an artist, an engineer, a producer, this is right up your alley, and this is where the magic happens. Now, with the vocals that you get back, they are not perfect. They sound pretty good, but there's artifacts in there. There's weird kind of nuances in the voice that you can tell it's artificial. It doesn't really sound like Drake. We can mix that a little bit, compress it, we can EQ it, we can get it sounding better, and the better you can mix, the better it's going to be, because once it's blended in with the actual instrumental and the beat, a lot of those little nuances go away, or disappear rather, and the average consumer is not going to be able to tell that it's artificial. Maybe if you've been in engineering for a long time or producing a long time, you still have the ears, and you have the ears to know that, okay, this sounds a little artificial. Maybe you can detect it, but for the average listener and the average ear, this is undetectable, and this is why this stuff is so crazy. After you've mixed this, if you want to take it a step further, you can then master it if you know how to do that. And if you master it, this is where it's just sounding exactly like the artist. It gets insane. Now, step 6, this is where these people have been putting it out on social media, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, and it's been going crazy, and the internet is just in flames right now. I don't recommend that because, again, a lot of this stuff is getting taken down, rightly so, I think, but at the same, it's a gray area. I'm going to get into that in the next chapter, but that is step 6. That is what people have done. So step 1 through 6, that is how this stuff is being made. Is this bad? I've seen a lot of people on the fence about this. I've seen a lot of people say this isn't right. I've seen a lot of people say, who cares? It's cool. It's not cool. Whatever, this and that. I'm going to give you my opinions and some good points, I think, for making an argument on why this is bad. In my opinion, I think this needs to be, at the very least, regulated and have laws put in place and policies put in place to protect everybody, because this could potentially be really bad if it's unregulated. Let's say that someone wants to make something disrespectful, right? Like, let's say I don't like Drake and I know how to make Drake AI stuff. Let me make a diss track towards Meek Mill. They had beef in the past, or him and Kanye, who knows if they're on good terms. They're kind of back and forth. Let me make a diss track towards Kanye and put that out. And then Drake has to deal with that. I don't think that's right. And that's just one example. You could do that with any artist. You could start beefs. And imagine you get into more of the drill music and the gangster kind of music, and you have Chief Keef beef with somebody else from another set, or you got a lot of these rappers that are claiming gangs or claiming affiliations, and you beef with other rappers, you could get somebody killed. And that's not even mentioning deep fakes, okay, which clones your face. I'll save that for another video. But imagine you combine the voice cloning with face cloning. We're getting into some crazy times here, okay? But also, what about not letting the dead rest? You know, Michael Jackson, Prince, Amy Winehouse. If I wanted to make songs from those artists and have it released today, I could do that. But that's not right. They're not here to defend themselves. Their families are the ones that are going to have to deal with that. You know, people making music from someone that's dead, and they're using their name, not letting them rest in peace. I don't think that's right. Imagine everybody has access to this, and it becomes easy in 2-3 years, and it's not regulated. There could be a new Michael Jackson song every 10 minutes, a new Prince song. How do you control this? If you had a new Drake song every 10 seconds, how is Drake supposed to put out music? How is he supposed to release an album? Also, I think it's a weird form of theft in a way. Kind of like you're stealing somebody's image and you're stealing somebody's voice. It could be somewhere in the area of defamation, maybe. It depends. This is where things get a little gray, and it's hard to make arguments and understand what's going on, because how are you supposed to trademark or copyright someone's voice? I've seen the argument that people say, oh, well, what about people that sound like Drake, that their voice just sounds like it, they can't help it, or they can do really good impersonations. I see where you're coming from, but having someone do an impersonation is one thing, because that takes a little bit of skill and practice. They put in hours trying to sound like that person, and it's under the intent of them impersonating. Everybody knows it's an impersonation. It's more of a show, an entertaining kind of thing, versus an actual AI cloning your voice. You have impersonating, and then you have cloning, okay? And going into it being theft, I had a buddy I was talking to about this tell me, oh, well, who cares? The artists already have millions of dollars. Who cares if they're putting out this AI stuff, and, you know, it just helps the artist, blah, blah. That's the same mentality as saying, who cares if Walmart makes billions of dollars? Let me go steal their products. They have insurance. They make a ton of money. Who cares? Let me steal it. That's not right. This is about morals and ethics. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So I think there needs to be regulations on this for sure. And you have to think of the bigger picture here, okay? Because this is just the beginning of this AI stuff, and it's only going to get better at a faster rate probably too, because of how AI learns. And, you know, right now it affects the rappers and singers, but it's going to make its way to celebrities and actors and politicians, and then it's going to get its way down to us peasants. And then it's going to be a shit show if it's not regulated, okay? Imagine once this AI gets so easy to use and it's so refined that anybody can do it, and it doesn't require any sort of background or skill. You can download an app, and, you know, I don't like somebody at work, and I clone their voice and I make them say racist things or something, and I show that to the boss. I mean, there's a lot of things where this could go bad and go south very quick, because human beings by nature will always find exploitations and things. And I think this can be very dangerous in the future if it's unregulated and it's not touched on. I bet at that point you would want it to be regulated when it could affect you as a person. Right now, a lot of people don't think it's that big of a deal, because it affects celebrities and it affects these people that have millions of dollars and millions of fans and whatever, and it's not that big a deal. But as it makes its way down to the normal people, it will be a problem. It's not good for this fake stuff. I don't think it's all bad. I think that the technology itself is very, very cool. This is kind of the new wave that we're experiencing in our generation, in our lifetime, that people that got to experience the internet for the first time, or streaming services, things like that, we're seeing this in real time, a new revolutionary technology. I think it's really cool. Being an artist myself, I can use it to help get my mindset and perspective into somebody else's shoes. Like if I wanted to pretend to be Drake, I could come up with more creative lyrics and maybe more of a hit-making kind of mindset by having his voice on a record, and then using my voice to switch it out with and make that song to help me make better music. I also could just make dream collabs. You know, I could collaborate with Drake, or I could collaborate with Kendrick Lamar, or I could collaborate with Eminem, and I could see how I would sound on a track with these artists. And it'd be really cool to experience that, because I'm an underground artist. Also, if I was in the industry at a top level, I could kind of send a reference track to these artists. Let's say I did know Drake or Eminem. I could make a song. I could write Eminem's rough verse. Obviously, he's a freak of nature and could write way, way better than me. But I could make a rough song of me featuring M and then send it over to him and be like, hey, bro, what do you think about this idea? Like, do you want to make this song? And it could be a new way of a creative process to working with artists at the top level. So I do think the technology is cool being an artist myself. I could see this being a huge tool and resource for producers, both at the bedroom studio level and at the top level, because think about this. Let's say you want to make Drake type beats, Kendrick Lamar type beats, and you're a YouTube beat maker or beat stars and you want to make money and you're making these type beats for everybody. Well, now you can get the AI voice, and if you can write even just at a basic level and kind of rap like them, you can get an idea of how that artist would sound on your beat. So it's like, did I make this Drake type beat that good? Would Drake sound good? Let me put him on there and see if it sounds good. Okay, he does sound good. Let me put this out in my catalog and in my portfolio and build up these beats that sound really good. And I know that Drake would sound good on them. And then at the top level, you could have actual producers, they could write a little reference track, write a little Drake song, and then send it to Drake because they're in the industry. They know they're networking, and they send it to Drake. Hey, bro, what do you think? This sounds good? All right, let me send you this beat pack. I have 10 songs that I made with your voice. Let me send you these beat packs and these references. So I think it could be a great tool and resource for producers as well. Onto the engineering side, I think this is great for all engineers at the bottom and top level because you can practice mixing certain artists' voices onto different styles of music. You can mix Nicki Minaj on a pop song. You can mix her on a rap song. You can just collaborate with all different types of people, artists and producers, and get better at your craft and practice more. And you can have access to these things that before you would only have access to if you were in the industry and you were a professional. But now the bedroom producer, the bedroom engineer can get better at what they're doing by using this technology. So I think it is really cool, and it could be a powerful tool and resource, and the sky's the limit, but definitely needs to be rules and regulations on it for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, this AI shit is the Wild West right now. It's like when the internet first came out, or streaming services like Netflix were making Blockbuster sweat harder than Drake hearing a new Drake AI song drop. And since this AI stuff isn't going anywhere, it's just getting started and it's going to grow faster and faster and get bigger and bigger. I think the best thing that we can do is to have rules and regulations and policies set in place to protect everybody's rights and freedoms, and so that everybody can win and benefit on both sides. Besides, if there's anything we've learned from AI, it's to not let it get out of control. Hey, if you're still watching, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys. If you found this video educational, informative, entertaining, maybe even a little thought-provoking, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm out. All right, now that the video is out of the way, y'all know I had to give this technology a try myself. So I went ahead and I made a Drake AI song. I wrote it, I recorded it, I mixed it. I sent it to my cousin to master even, so it sounds crazy. And if I'm being honest, this song goes dummy hard, and Drake might end up giving me a call. But it's just for entertainment purposes only, so keep that in mind. I will not be putting this on Spotify or anywhere where I can make money off of it, and this video itself will not be monetized because it's just educational and entertainment value only. So with all that out of the way, here's the song. I hope you enjoy it.
I don't wanna type in this we talking about. Yeah. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep. Yeah, it's hard to keep. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about racks. Don't be sending shots if you don't wanna lie back. Say you got hits, we don't see where they at. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep track. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about racks. Don't be sending shots if you don't wanna lie back. Say you got hits, we don't see where they at. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep track. They talk about the boy when they wanna be trendy. I don't worry about any threats that you send me. Say that you a shooter, I got real ones with me. They gon' make sure that the clip gets emptied. Yeah, we after ya. Never got a degree, but I'm a bachelor. Me and 40 get to cooking with no spatula. You shooting at the stars, you need a big caliber. You ain't at the top, I've been here the whole time. I've been running laps and this bitch is so 09. I could put you on a map with a cosign. trophies, got a crib looking like a gold mine. They follow in my footsteps, cause I know that I paved the way. She think I'm a hero, shorty, you ain't getting safe today. Like you send me checks, so your salary my day to day. I'm numb to awards, now the Grammys act like paperweights. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about rags. Don't be sending shots if you don't wanna lie back. Say you got hits, we don't see where they at. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep track. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about rags. Don't be sending shots if you don't wanna lie back. Say you got hits, we don't see where they at. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep track. Had to drop a meal for the meal on the wrist. They know that I'm hearing from the Ville to the 6. If I'm being honest, I ain't mean to take your bitch. Got the driveway looking like a dealership. Rappers that I used to know, now they act different. Where they are, where I'm at, that's a big difference. Got my brothers off the block, but they still gripping. Just a phone call away for you to go missing. Always had the vision, I just knew that it would take time. If you want the #1 spot, you gotta take mine. Only way to do that is for you to write some Drake lines. You ain't even big enough to get cloned by AI. I don't know nobody living quite like this. Hopped in the Ghost, it ain't even got mileage. They gon' remember the name cause I'm timeless. Say time is money, just know mine is priceless. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about rags. Don't be sending shots if you don't wanna lie back. Say you got hits, we don't see where they at. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep track. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about rags. Don't be sending shots if you don't wanna lie back. Say you got hits, we don't see where they at. Counting up the money and it's hard to keep track. I don't wanna talk unless we talking about